Tonight, the Georgia primary is almost a month away. Hear what concerns Athens-Clarke County officials have about the brand new voting machines. One county in Georgia is doing everything it can to preserve its historical charm. Also, the story of how an Athens Academy senior not only got his passion for Georgia football from his dad, but also his grit.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening, I'm Will Wynn. Welcome to Grady Newsource. Although the unemployment rate in Athens is the lowest it has been since 1999, some locals believe jobs are nowhere to be found because of the student population. Grady Newsource reporter Derek Carr has more.
Finding a job is stressful enough, but if you're not a college student in a college town, it's harder. Despite the unemployment rate in Athens-Clarke County reaching 2.5%, some Athens locals are still saying it is a struggle to find jobs. From food service jobs like Ben & Jerry's to Chick-fil-A. As a local, if you don't know anyone, these jobs are harder to attain. One person who shares the duality of both student and local knows how difficult it is to attain a job.
Because I know people, I'm able to get jobs. So that was for my first job, but throughout working at 3-4 restaurants in town, including Smoothie King, it's usually I know somebody there. But everyone I've worked with has always been a college student.
Some businesses have a mixture of adults and college students, but it's mostly about meeting the needs of the business.
Right. We employ a mix of adults and more part-time college students here, and really it's scheduling is one of the big concerns, is like what's availability.
Regardless of the background of the employee, to some employers, they just want people who are reliable.
I think from an employer standpoint, I just want people who can work. I don't care if they're students or if they're, where they're from, as long as they can, show up and work. So.
Derek Carr, Grady Newsource.
Georgia has received new voting machines for the first time in 17 years, but many people are concerned that these machines may come with new problems. Grady Newsource reporter Savannah Schmidt reports.
As Athens-Clarke County prepares for the March primary elections, there are efforts to make sure the new voting machines are ready. The Board of Elections has been provided with more than $100,000 to deal with any problems that may come up. In addition to the touchscreen, the new voting system also includes a printer and a scanner. Commissioner Melissa Link is concerned the voting precincts won't have the electric capabilities to handle these devices.
You can only plug like 3 or 4 machines into a single outlet. They draw too much power. There's a chance of fuses going out.
Mocha Johnson, a Board of Election member, is also concerned about the new machines not being electrically compatible. But her biggest concern is not being fully prepared going into the March elections.
I want to make sure that everyone votes counts and that it's not a situation to where people are discouraged or turned away because we're dealing with all these glitches and problems,
Bob Woodall, an Athens local, says he likes having the paper ballot available for recounts, but he still has questions.
Because the paper ballots are counted by the QR code, how do I know that the QR code matches up with the names written down on the ballots?
Link says there's a lot at stake using these machines for the first time with Georgia primary elections.
There's a lot of division in the Democratic Party right now. We need to make sure we get it right to make sure it's legitimate.
Savannah Schmidt, Grady Newsource.
The voter registration deadline is February 24th for the Georgia presidential primary. Johnson encourages voters to educate themselves about these machines so they can vote way smoothly. Tonight, the Jefferson High School varsity boys and girls basketball teams will play for the Region 8 3A championship tonight at Emmanuel College. Sports reporter Cassidy A. Thomas and Grady Newsource reporter Trevor Terry have more.
Thanks, Will. In just under an hour, the Jefferson County High School basketball team will tip off a much-anticipated regional championship. The Lady Dragons will take on Morgan County at 6 p.m. and the boys will follow directly after against Franklin County High at 7:30. Trevor, you've been in Jefferson for a majority of the day. What did you learn ahead of tonight's contest?
Yeah, Cassidy. So the region tournament began for both the boys and the girls on Friday after the games last Thursday were canceled due to the threat of tornadoes. After both teams picked up wins Friday night, the championship games were set to be played on Saturday. But once again, Mother Nature prohibited. The snow on Saturday pushed the games back to today, and they are set to tip off at Emmanuel College at 6 o'clock. I had the chance to sit down with girls head coach Greg Brown and boys head coach Kevin Morris ahead of tonight's showdowns.
We've played some really good competition. We've lost to 3 teams who are all region champions. We're going to try to make Morgan County as uncomfortable as we can make them tonight defensively. We're going to try to speed them up, and that's how we play, and that's how we've played all year long. Even though we're playing on a Monday night for a championship, it is a little bit odd. But we've talked about just winning our next game all year. Now, you know, we can't. There's a lot of things as coaches we can control, but the weather's not one of them. So we just tried to continue to do what we do and get our kids prepared to play.
Last year was a little bit of a disappointment. We got upset in the first round of the state tournament, and it's kind of been a weird year for Jefferson-Franklin matchup. This will really be the first time that we've played them with both teams at full strength and both teams healthy. So I think both teams will be ready. I think both teams will be fired up about being there, and I think it'll be a great environment tonight for high school basketball. So we're looking forward to it.
So, as you've heard from both coaches, both these teams have been having a fantastic season, and they're looking to cap it off with tonight a championship ring.
Yeah, and that's right. And both teams haven't won the region championship in the same year since 2014. Both the boys and the girls came into the tournament as the #1 seeds. The girls finished the regular season 12-0 in the region and claimed a victory in their semifinal matchup on Friday. Coach Brown stressed 2 things to me earlier today. He said that they need to play fast and they need to be themselves. This team has just 1 senior, but he applauds the leadership on this team. After playing in the region championship a year ago, he hopes that that experience can get them the win tonight. As for the boys, they've played in the region championship the last 2 seasons, so they've been here before. Coach Morris stressed that while the team needs a big performance from leading scorer Jacob Rodeker, he expects each player to step up, as they have all year long. Morris said that the team's theme this season has been to change the banner, and they've got an opportunity to do that tonight. So tonight, we'll finally get to see these championship games, and they're shaping up to be 2 great matchups.
Thanks so much, Trevor. We look forward to finding out how both teams do later tonight. In a little bit, I'll be back to tell you about some few national sports stories you won't want to miss.
Coming up, I will give you the rundown on what precautions you need to take against the coronavirus. Also, stay tuned to learn about how a school system honors their finest employees and how you can cast your vote.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in, help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers. Next Tuesday, a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
The coronavirus has captured the world's attention and has raised questions about safety. The U.S. government is advising people not to travel to China because that is where the virus was first identified. Even though this risk is low to the American public, everyone can still do their part to remain safe. The CDC recommends that you be on the lookout for people who recently visited China and have fever and respiratory symptoms. Take everyday action to prevent the spread of germs, such as washing your hands and staying home if you're sick. Also, simply take care of yourself and take flu antivirals if prescribed. If you have been in China in the past 14 days and feel sick with a cough, fever, and difficulty breathing, contact your healthcare provider and make them aware of what happened and your symptoms. You also should avoid contact with others and traveling while sick. Cover your mouth with a tissue or your sleeve when coughing or sneezing. Wash your hands following coughing, sneezing, or blowing your nose. If soap and water are not available, you can use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol, according to the CDC. The city of Jefferson's rich historic districts are safe from new development even though the population is rapidly growing.
The city of Jefferson is growing faster than Athens and Atlanta.
We've had quite a bit of residential development. We've issued probably the last year about 100 building permits for new housing starts.
But the city of Jefferson does not plan on commercializing any of its historic districts anytime soon.
We have a Historic Preservation Commission that has been about since 1986. It's to protect the integrity of the historic district, the structures within it, to prevent demolition of historic structures, and to ensure that anything new that's built is compatible with the historic architecture of the district.
And the commission has listed out their strict guidelines on all construction and renovations that take place within the historic district on this 87-page document.
See, Jefferson Drugs has been here since I've had it for 13 years. The pharmacist before me had the same store for 35 years, and the pharmacist before that had it for 38 years. The guidelines can be helpful. They can keep your community looking kind of, I guess you could say, homogeneous.
And Chapman said even with the population growth, it probably would not serve the community to lighten up on the guidelines.
It would hurt. I mean, people, call this home. People live here their whole lives. I know it would be hard for them to come just to find that Jefferson Drugs or the paper or some of these businesses that have been here for decades were here no longer.
I spoke with many other business owners and locals in Jefferson's downtown historic district who said these preservation efforts are exactly what's needed. But there is another side to it.
There's a lot of concern by property owners in general about another layer of government bureaucracy, and then have somebody tell you that they don't like the doorknobs on your doors.
But the city of Jefferson is not planning on letting up from any of these guidelines anytime soon. Ashley Carter, Grady Newsource.
Madison County School District just released a nomination form to honor their best employees. Grady Newsource reporter Emma Goldsmith has more about what this means.
There's so many people that give many, many years of service to the school system, but there wasn't a way to recognize that. So that's why they put this award in place.
The technology director for Madison County Schools is talking about the Jim Perkins Dedication Award, started in 2015 to honor the legacy and influence of longtime district superintendent Jim Perkins.
He had a real passion for education and for Madison County specifically.
Perkins hired Denman when he was superintendent, but before that, he served in several roles at Madison County High School, including teacher, basketball coach, and assistant principal. Denman received the award back in 2016 and now serves on the selection committee.
Most of our nominations come from employees, and then all the nominations are read by the committee, and we all vote.
To be eligible for the award, nominees must have worked in the school district for at least 20 years and still be working there.
We have a lot of longevity with our employees, and a lot of people really like to stay here, and so I think people are really happy to see people they've worked with for 20 plus years receive the award.
Friend and co-worker Pam Hall, one of the technology specialists at Madison County Middle School, received the award just last year. Hall still has fond memories of the day she found out that she won.
There were all these teachers and the principals and counselors and the superintendent and Amy. Everybody was in here, and the balloons and flowers, and It was just amazing. It was very touching. I cried like a baby, like a dummy, but.
To nominate someone for the award, all you have to do is go to the website for Madison County School District and go under District News. To fill out an online submission, there's a link to a Google form that asks for specific examples of an employee's dedication. Emma Goldsmith, Grady Newsource.
Good evening. My name is Cassidy A. Thomas, and after the break, I will tell you the latest of the NBA trade deadline.
Thank you. Did you see anyone's problems? Thanks for helping us. Is this your You're welcome.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
I love you.
Can we get strawberries? Okay.
And now, sports.
Good evening. I'm Cassidy A. Thomas with your national sports. Just 19 years after the first XFL attempt, Vince McMahon's 8-team NFL alternative is back. Just 6 days after Super Bowl 54, 4 games aired, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. The Seattle Dragons and the DC Defenders started the league off strong, bringing in a peak viewership of 4 million on ESPN and ABC Network. The Defenders beat out the Dragons 31-19. The Houston Roughnecks defeated the Los Angeles Wildcats 37-17. The New York Guardians blew the Tampa Bay Vipers out 23-3. And finally, the St. Louis Battlehawks conquered the Dallas Renegades 15-9. The NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and now basketball fans have had the chance to see some familiar faces in new territory. In a 4-team trade deal, the Houston Rockets trade Clint Capella, the Miami Heat trade to gain Andre Iguodala, and D'Angelo Russell stays put with the Warriors. Forward Marcus Morris debuted for the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday night, providing the team with a promising future, defeating the Cleveland Cavaliers 133-92. While the deadline switches are actively changing the landscape of the league, 2 teams have remained silent through the process and continue their respected winning streaks. The Raptors won their 14th game straight against the Nets, squeezing by just 119-118, and the Boston Celtics brought the home win against the Oklahoma Thunder 112-111. A public memorial in honor of Kobe B. Bryant will be held Monday, February 24th in the same stadium Bryant spent most of his time in, the Staples Center. Vanessa Bryant announced the information through an Instagram post commenting that February 24th, 2020 has specific significance to their family. Daughter Gigi Bryant played the number 2 in youth basketball games. Bryant spent 24 years as a Laker and wore the number 24 for the later half of his career. And finally, the 20 years of marriage the two shared. According to the Los Angeles Times, the memorial will be relatively brief as the Los Angeles Clippers and the Memphis Grizzlies face off later that night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm Cassidy A. Thomas, and that's your sports roundup for the evening.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
I love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
And now, the weather.
Hi, I'm Lainey Tagliaferri, and this is your Grady Newsource weather. Tonight we are going to be talking about the flood watch, tomorrow's forecast, and the 5-day forecast. Let's first take a look at our radar. The National Weather Service put Northeast Georgia on a flood watch as we are supposed to be getting 3 to 4 inches of rain with local amounts varying over the next 24 hours. Looking forward to our overnight forecast tonight, it's going to be a low of 55 degrees with an 80% chance of rain. Tomorrow we are supposed to see a high of 69 degrees, heavy rain, 90% chance of showers, and thunderstorms starting around 1 p.m. If you're looking at the weather this week, make sure you have an umbrella and a rain jacket with you as it's going to be raining until Thursday. Highs ranging from 69 today all the way down to 63 degrees on Thursday. Friday, it's going to be 53 degrees, clear skies, but if you're going anywhere, make sure you bring a coat with you. I'm Lady Tagliaferri, and this has been your Grady Newsource weather.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
The price of gas has gone down, but it depends on where you live. As you can see from the graph, every region has a different gas price as of earlier this month. Gas is the cheapest in the Gulf Coast at around $2.13 per gallon. Georgia has the second cheapest average at around $2.27 per gallon. The West Coast is the only region that averages more than $3. The U.S. average is just above $2.45. Every region has seen a decrease in gas prices from just a week ago. A drop in gas prices was not happening this time last year. Every region saw an increase in their average gas. The U.S. price of gas increased 20 cents per gallon last year, but this week, gas is 5 cents cheaper compared to the week before. Athens Academy's Kurt Knisley becomes the fourth member of the family to sign a letter of intent with Georgia as a preferred walk-on. Grady Newsource reporter Kevin Keenley shows us what drives his success.
Hardworking, determined, and dedicated are three ways you describe the Region 8A Player of the Year, Kurt Knisley, who never missed a single football game in his 4 years at Athens Academy.
He's started every single football game we've played the last 4 years, and as you know, we've played quite a few football games in the state playoffs as well. So,
Kurt's toughness traces back to his dad's passion for boxing.
So I taught him the basics. The same thing, just how to defend himself and how to throw proper punches and everything like that, but that's all.
Kurt's toughness has helped him develop into the type of player that any coach would love to have in their program.
He's been an impact player, someone that his teammates and coaches look up to for leadership, because he is so committed and dedicated and tough he's just the kind of player that you want on a football field.
Football runs deep throughout Kurt's family. Just last week, Kurt signed his letter of intent with Georgia as a preferred walk-on. Kurt will be the fourth member of his family to walk on Georgia's football team, joining his dad, Kurt Knisley Sr., and both of his uncles.
He's somebody that not only understands his role and responsibilities within the team, he also understands what everybody else on the field is supposed to be doing. And so he's one of those players that makes sure that his teammates are in the right position, they're doing the right things, and they feel good about what they're trying to do.
For Grady Newsource, I'm Kevin Keneally.
Thank you for tuning in to Grady Newsource. I'm Will Wynn, and good night.
At the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
What to expect when you're expecting?
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
All right, welcome y'all to our post-show critique. Happy Monday. Hope we all had a good snowy weekend if you were in Athens. I'm Jackson Langford. I was the director today for the technical team. I thought it was a pretty good show. It was my first one. I didn't have a chance to volunteer last week, so it was my first one back this week. I thought it was a good show. You guys made it nice and fun, which I appreciate. It didn't look fun at face value, but then once we got and broke it down, especially at the green screen for the basketball, for the local sports breakdown, it was fun with the different comps, and it was just a fun show to punch. You know, and I really appreciate about this class is that you guys always give us a fun show to do. It makes it exciting, and go Dogs. I guess this is Sarah, our SPM for the day, our senior production manager, and she has more advanced notes than I have.
So since I was here all day, I'm just going to go ahead and cover stuff that was during pre-recording. So for the most part, I want to say you guys were great about getting into the studio on time. I know we were a little bit late starting to record sports, but honestly, it was just like 15 minutes. So that was fine. So you were great getting into the studio for pre-recording and then also for live show. You guys were down there at 4:30, which is when we need you, especially when we're doing fancy stuff like we did today. With the different comps that we did with the 2 different close-ups and then the 1 wide shot on the same camera on the same green screen and set. That takes a little bit of doing. It takes a little bit of preparation. So you guys being prepared and being down there on time really helps. We even switched the green screens we were going to use. I don't know how many of you saw that we did that, but we actually changed the desk from our primary green screen to our secondary green screen so that we could have enough room for the really cool 2-shot on our primary green screen for the sports. So the fact that all 3 of you were downstairs on time and prepared made that possible, so we really appreciate it. More stuff about just time. Today was the first time, which is really impressive, that we had a package drop during the show. And honestly, this is the 5th show that we've done, like with the non-broadcast and non-streamed preparation show. That one included. This is the 5th show, and this is the first time that we've had a package drop during the show. It's not the first time we had a package drop late, but that's really impressive. So that's just something, because you guys know you can do it, that's just something to work on, because you know you can do it. I know that you guys have a lot to do during the day. It's just something to keep in mind. One thing to say is that we did accidentally take a package where we were supposed to have a VO. That's just because the default length for graphics is 5 seconds long, and we did not realize that it wasn't stopped. It was still playing, so that's why the gas prices map went off a little bit early. But other than that, it was a very pretty show. It was a very ambitious show. I like that we had so many different shots, animated double box, and all that. So it was a good looking show. It's just as stuff is getting more complicated, time management is just something you guys have to watch out for. And that is everything. Those are all the notes that I have. Overall, nice show. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. It wasn't easy, and you were stressing because our packages, 2 packages were not there on time for you. 4:30 is the deadline where all packages have to be edited. And thank you for your understanding, but I know that we stressed you out, and we have to try to be fair to our volunteers. They don't get any credit, they don't get paid for what they do, and we couldn't do our shows without them. So it's very important for you to put an extra effort to meet that deadline.
Mm-hmm. Just give me 1 second. Like, I have been doing this for 3 years, and this is the first time that we've ever had a package come in during the show this late in the semester. And it's because you guys are pushing it, because you guys are pushing the envelope. So I have never seen a class this prepared. I've never seen classes on top of it. I know that's a lot of pressure for you guys to maintain that, but because you've done it before, I know you guys can keep doing it, and I have full confidence that just as long as you are mindful about all of the components that go into the show, you can keep doing fantastic. So, sorry, Cassidy, you had a question? Sorry, we're taking all the stick mics right now.
I'll just speak up. Do you know what happened with the second Kobe graphic at all?
Oh yeah, that just, for whatever reason, the advance button didn't work, and I just didn't catch it when we were in editing. So that was just, yeah. Yeah. Next time, if you see something like that, let us know, and we can just edit it in as a full screen. Because like I know that was a graphic that we were supposed to have in the BAM. So like if something like that happens again and you see that when we record and it's like, oh man, that take was really good, I don't want to re-record it even though that BAM graphic didn't change, let us know. We can just put it in as full screen just for a couple of seconds and then pop it back off. So like if you see that when you're recording, just flag us down, say, hey, please, can you guys adjust that in post? Like most of the time we'd go, fix it in post, are you crazy? But in this case, that's something easy that we can do. Yeah, we're happy to adjust stuff like that. So yeah, I'm done.
Thank you, Sarah.
Have a great evening.
So Hayden, our master producer here, first time producing, and look at what she came up with. It was a team effort. It was you working with Trevor and Cassidy, and you guys have amazing chemistry, the two of you. You should watch yourselves. You were looking at each other. Just nitpicking is when you were at the end, when you were talking, Cassidy didn't have much to say, but you kind of were, you're very nice. You kept looking at her and she kept looking at you. But I think they should have taken you a full shot, single shot, so that she does not stand there and have nothing to do. Or she could have kept asking you questions. Either two. But you guys were just so cute and so sweet and so natural, and you were enjoying yourselves, and you were wonderful. You were wonderful. But I zip it. Amazing.
Cassie, I know you didn't want to do that necessarily at the beginning of the day, and if you don't want to do something, let me know. But I'm glad you did it because I thought it worked really well, and I thought you did really well.
I think I said the wrong words to you a little bit earlier. It's not that I didn't want to do it. I just, after I did the pre-recorded of sports and saw that it took me 9 times to get it right, you know, I was hesitant about doing something live on teleprompter. That was the only thing. Mm-hmm. But as we see, we
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's almost like when you have less time to think about it, it goes smoother because you can't overthink it. So, and Will, you did a great job in the studio. Good lead anchor.
Very solid. The only thing I would say, I want to work with you a little bit on variation. You very solidly read everything with the same tone and expression. And I want to help you, just for you to use kind of change the subject with a different pitch of your voice, or the speed in which you're reading. You know, the more serious stories are read slower. And then you have this, you know, the sports story, you know, you need to kind of become more animated. At the end, I was like, please smile. You have a beautiful smile. You smile just a little bit, but we'll work on that. That's the only thing. You're very solid. It's just we need to work, and it's scary to, I mean, it's your first show, so I understand. But because I have no shame, I keep pushing everybody here, so I just have to do it. I do it to everyone, each and every one of you. So, and speaking of pushing people, I pushed, and we have our star today. Yay. I think she deserves.
She did so good.
Our lead story. And what I think we need to reiterate that one thing I want you guys to get into a habit is to always think and plan the other side of the story and organize when you have an interview with an official. You're also working on an interview with someone on the other side, or if there's no other side, you're thinking of, can I get an independent expert, a neutral person who can put this in perspective? You always think of, let's say, it's a policy or it's some kind of action taken. Always think who is at the other end of that action or interaction or policy. You need to interview that person. And if it's very controversial and people are saying things, you know, criticizing or saying controversial things, you need to get like an arbiter, like an expert who's neutral and who puts things in perspective. And this needs to become second nature. Emma, with you, you had many sources, but bear in mind that they were all one point of view. So variation of sources doesn't always mean just teachers, principals. It means students. They are on the receiving end of those wonderful teachers. So what makes them wonderful? You know, think of variation of sources means variation of sides to the story. And there was one more. So Ashley, also nice package, but also think of, you know, the variation, the other side of the story, which you almost got for us, but it wasn't quite developed. You had an amazing idea. I loved your idea, but just a little more of the other side of the story. If you had a little more time, I know it's far away, but it would have been even better. So think of these things and pre-plan them always. And you did that your first week when you were doing packages. But that's, with all of you, this will become muscle memory because I will just keep pushing you. But everybody did an amazing, wonderful job, and I really appreciate all the wonderful packages and things that you did. And especially Savannah, that was a very good package that you did. It was very well, the video was very interesting. I liked your graphic, the one, no, I liked your graphic. You had that amazing graphic, yes. So they were just, I need to watch the show again at home and just give you a little more specific feedback, but all of you did a great job. The weather, I'm sorry, I looked away and I missed the fun part. So I'm going to watch it. I was told it was awesome. And I'm going to watch it again and enjoy. That's my dessert at home when I go home. I'm going to watch it for dessert. And did I leave? Kevin, nice package idea, but the balance of video. It was like, oh my goodness, okay. Kevin is speaking. And then the thought swirled this way. And then it's again Kevin speaking. So and I told you, next time I'm not approving your package unless I have approved your script before you edit. Yeah. But I understand that this is your first week as MMJ. So, but that's, I give one pass. That's your pass. And next time.
Every roadblock today, so it should be good next time.
Yes. So, but it was a good package. It's just the balance. That was the only thing that. And the visuals, you didn't have much video.
I didn't have any B-roll, really.
Yes, and that's something you just need to think about. But I leave it now to you. I wasn't supposed to talk that much.
Emma, your video quality was so good. Really, really good. That really stood out to me. Savannah, awesome for having everything done early. You took so much stress off of me so I could stress about everyone else. And thank you, everyone, for working under such stress.
Yes.
So, and I know that's difficult, and like I did it last Wednesday where like I couldn't get my brain straight and focus on anything. So like I understand how stressful that is, and I appreciate everyone pushing through and getting everything in. So we were actually overtime, which is not a bad thing, so we can cut, which is better than being under. So thank you, everyone. I have not many complaints, so.
And you did a great job producing.
Thank
you. I think she deserves, yeah.
Thank you.
Emma Glenn, you had an achievement today.
Yes, we did have some achievements today. Digital producer role was really, really fun, really different. Felt kind of like out of the loop a tiny bit just because I was over here working on my own stuff, but it was still cool to like see everything you guys came up with in the meantime. So I did try something new at the Grady Daily today. I went outside to introduce it, to talk about the weather, so that was kind of fun. And then we brought it back into the studio just for a little visual appeal. On Instagram, it got a lot of actually votes and like feedback from people, but we showed Lainey's sledding video, and we were like, this is what Grady Newsource reporter Lainey did on her snow day, what did you do? And people like responded to that. And then also we did a vote this or that kind of thing, like which red carpet outfit did you like better, because I talked about the guy who, I'm blanking on his name, but he wore the Kobe Bryant coat.
Spike Lee.
Yes, Spike Lee. And we did like this or that, which red carpet outfit did you like better? Lots of people participated in that, which was really cool. And then Our best thing of the day was Savannah worked on an article for online, and we're still kind of working out the kinks in that, but it should go up later today, so that's the first one we've done. So
she just messaged us and said it was published.
And it's published.
Yay!
So perfect timing, right on cue.
Congratulations.
So Savannah, thank you for your help. And we made an infographic with that, so it was pretty detailed. But yeah, I have really no complaints. I didn't get to watch much of the show because we were working on the article, but anyways, thank you guys for all your hard work.
Wonderful. So we had a lot of firsts. We had the Q&A, and I'm glad that you figured out a way to incorporate this amazing brain trust of people who know sports and love sports, but yet it's my job to teach you how to do all sorts of stories, because believe me, you will need to do this. There is no newsroom, or the ones that I have visited, where somebody is just doing sports, especially in local TV. There's just not enough money to hire someone just to do sports. You have to be able to do stories related to sports, which are about different topics as well. I took some students to the Savannah Morning News, and the sports guy, you know, all of them were like, a lot of them were interested in sports, and he said, I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm writing regular news as well. We went to a TV station in which they said the same thing. We do have people who kind of write more sports stories, but they write everything. And so you guys will be writing everything, but I want to use your expertise and enthusiasm about sports stories. And this was a good way, what you did together, but try not to step over the sports anchor. They get first dibs on the sports stories, because they have to shine as sports anchors. And if they want to, you know, if they've suggested a story, let them do it. Yeah, but I enjoyed the fact that you figured out a way, and you figured out a way, the three of you, how to do this. And let's keep doing this, because I want you to do stories that excite you, and you know, and you can make them very interesting, but also report on from your beats and other types of stories. So now it's your turn, guys. I talked too much. I wasn't supposed to talk that much. All of you, kudos to all of you. Hayden can tell you how happy I was there. It's like I was jumping with joy. Everybody did a great job. But what did you guys like about our show, and what do you think we can do differently on Wednesday?
I really liked the Q&A, and I know that it was sports heavy, but I liked that we were able to find a way to localize it, and it added a different aspect of the show, I think, by doing the Q&A and doing that live, where it wasn't just, you know, like the sports block. It kind of tied the two together with the package, the Q&A, so I really liked the way that that looked, and it just makes it a little different than just going from like anchor package, sports weather, anchor package. I like that it breaks it up a little bit.
She broke it up, yes.
Yeah. I really like the way that that looked. I think it adds just another aspect to the show, makes it a little bit more dynamic, which is really cool that we're doing that this early in the semester, thinking of those innovative ways to make the show different, and yeah.
So if y'all think of something for Wednesday that, you know, maybe isn't like a full package, but somebody could, like, you could have a conversation about it or something like that. I want to use different sets and like make it more interesting, so it's not just Will package, even though we love Will. But
and he's going to be varying that tone, and he's just going to get into the script, you know, and just kind of like you're talking to your mom and you're telling her, Mom, this is, you know, sad things happen today, but exciting things happen, you know, and you're going to say, you know, as the coronavirus is just horrible, but hear how, you know, and then we've got this amazing piece with this profile of this, you know, player, and so you need to just vary and get into it as much as you can in a live show, which is kind of pretty scary. But just think that you're telling us and what excites you about a story, what worries you about a story. Tell us when you're reading the prompter.
I use the same tone with my mom, but I'll try to change my tone.
All right. I think she will enjoy that.
I think that's something I could work on too with weather, though, in terms of fluctuating my voice. I think with the 1 minute weather, I was just very rushed almost. So that's something for Wednesday that I'll have to think about and work on.
I can work with you also on that. And I'm going to watch you again because I'm sorry I got distracted. I was talking about something else. And so I'm going to watch you and we can work on those things. And anything you want to work with me on, just come over and we'll do whatever you need because you have to be the best, when you graduate this class. And
that's it for me.
Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Dara, tell us something about your day and how you, because you had a challenge. Tell us about the radio.
Okay, so
tell us about it.
So I take my SD card, put it in the Mac computer, right? As I was listening, I was like, what is that music coming from? I thought it was from the headphones, so I took the headphones out the headphone jack, and I played it without it, and it was still playing, and I'm just like, I know. I just can't win for nothing. I cannot win for nothing. No, over the sock. And yes.
And it was overpowering the SOT. It was louder than the SOT.
The FESR mics, if you guys don't know, can pick up radio frequencies. So
it was louder than the guy speaking.
Luckily,
yeah.
That guy over there, Trevor.
Trevor, he always saves the day. He saved the day on Wednesday.
Luckily, I was like,
save the day again.
I was like, look, is there any way? Because I could still hear the person. It wasn't like the radio was just playing, because then that would be like a very difficult problem. But it was a 2-channel, right? He put the 2 channels in there instead of the mono channel. And, and then he also helped me with the essential sound where I denoised the radio even more, where you couldn't even hear it. Like, you can hear it, but you gotta really
Trevor,
listen.
thank you. I really, really appreciate how many people you've helped. And I notice it, and it means a lot, and I see what you're doing. Yeah.
And also, Hayden, thank you for helping me with the graphic.
Oh yeah, no
Because
problem.
unfortunately,
That was an awesome graph. Did you make it?
I didn't make it. I just put the 2.5 on it.
Okay, but I loved it.
I got the moving Bureau of Labor Statistics thing from MGN, but I was just asking you, Hayden. I wasn't fortunate enough to take graphics during my time here in Grady.
Yeah.
But I was asking her, is there any possible way we can put like the 2.5 so at least people can see it? And she was like, yeah, let me. And so now I know how to do a type of graphic now.
There you go. There you go. Tell us more. Tell us more. I mean, this was a big day for you. This was a big.
Okay, so I don't last week, as you guys know, none of my packages got to air, and that was because I didn't really get the other side. Campus Carry will be coming Wednesday. I have somebody.
Good. Good. And the thing is that with Dara, she's doing the most complex, controversial stories that need more other side of the story, and even an expert, neutral person to put it in perspective, because they are so sensitive. And I am very happy that you're challenging yourself doing so even though she's trying to, I'm happy you're challenging yourself, and you see now it takes more of pre-thinking and preparing, and always thinking, who is the person who's come up with the action or the criticism, and who is on the receiving end of that criticism or action? I need to get them. At the same time, I need to get an interview with them.
Yes.
And then think of whether you also need some data or something to kind of put it into the bigger picture. How does it fit in the trends of society? Or have in mind a few people, who can experts who can, we are here at a university, who can flesh this out and be the arbiter between the criticizer and the criticized, and maybe you need somebody to kind of have the middle ground. Sometimes it's just too extreme, right?
Yeah.
And you need somebody to take the middle road. So you're going to keep doing those social issues.
Yes.
And they're going to be hard, but now you know what it takes to really get on air, because it's easy. I could let Kevin be on the air or with a profile piece, even though it presented, let's say one side of the story. But with you, there are just so many sides and there's just so much division that we need more than that.
And I even will say today, when I went to the Terry College of Business, which I live right across from, the guy that I initially emailed for an interview, Mr. Dr. Kinsler, he specified in labor economics, and I told him, hey, I'm not asking your opinion, I'm just asking for your expertise. And even then he was like, I don't feel comfortable.
Because these are very difficult issues.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is what, like,
and if he hasn't
studied.
Yeah.
So what you mean to tell me? Like, UJ just hiring people like that just don't know what they're talking about? Like,
well, if he hasn't studied specifically Athens, and you were talking about something very specific, students, and the allegation was that students have it easy in Athens, that there's some sort of discrimination against non-students was the implication, right?
Yes.
So if he hasn't studied weather and he can't show you statistics really out of Athens' working population, what percentage of the working population is student compared to others who are not students, he doesn't want to get involved in that.
And I will say, I just find it so ironic. Like, while I was editing my package, the president over the Georgia Chamber of Commerce for Athens called me. And I was like, wow, I'm already done. Where was this type of energy last week when I needed somebody to answer an email or call me back?
That's why you work several stories at the same time. That's what I told Savannah. She was like, well, should I work on this story because I'm working also on the voting machines? I said, yes, you always have to work on several stories and see which one is going to pan out, because it can't be done in 6 hours, especially the stories you're doing. So you've got to be working like you are on several stories.
Yes.
Give us something on Black History Month.
Oh, we will.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's what I mean. Keep working on the Black History Month, on the campus carry, on the different issues, and see which one is ready and which one you can go on air with. And that's the way you'll have to work, because you've taken on complex stories. And anybody else who takes on such complex stories, you need to work on several at the same time and really, really think on the person who's criticizing, the person who's on the receiving end, and somebody who's giving us the middle ground when it's something very extreme and divisive. Because all of you will probably want to do stories like that. And it just, but you've got it. I can see this kind of thinking and mindset in all of you about diversity of opinion, not just on one side of the story, but on those who are taking action or being honored, and those who are who experience the thing that they're honored about, who benefit from it. They need to be heard as well, even though it's a very positive story. We need to double check it. Okay, the school is the one who's saying these are the best teachers, but what do the students think? You had a story like that, and yours was the students who are being honored, but you also asked the teachers, and so I see that mindset in you guys. You're just, getting ready. So we're almost there. Anybody else wants to say something? Ashley, thank you that was not easy to go 30 miles and come back. And you made it by the skin of your teeth, but I knew you were going to make, because Lainey was like, will I need to drop one of these, like Kevin's package? I hadn't looked at yours. And I knew you guys would make it. I told her you would make it, and you made it, but we just have to
Faster make it.
faster make it, yeah. Yeah, so.
Well, there's like a second page.
That's our post show for tonight. Have a good night.
To the doc, so